This story is absolutely fascinating. Did you know the mastermind behind the original idea for XRP is now building a literal space station? Yes, you read that right. A space station. It's like all those XRP to the moon jokes are suddenly becoming reality, but with an actual space twist. And here's the wild part. One of the original creators of XRP and the XRP ledger is turning his crypto success into a $1 billion dream of creating a space station. Tired of fake gurus who claim to be expert traders but never trade live? I trade live on the second largest crypto exchange, where everything is transparent and results can't be faked. For over 440 days, I've consistently closed every month in profit. In the last 90 days alone, my followers have earned over $34,000 in profits, with only 4% drawdown. Verified results, not empty claims. Want to see my verified stats? Click the first link in my profile and start copying my trades for free today. Check out this headline from Bloomberg. One man's crypto windfall is funding a $1 billion space station dream. The kicker? This whole venture is funded largely by profits from XRP sales. I'm not joking. This is real life, and honestly, I had no idea this was even happening. So technically, this journey began years ago, but this is the first I'm hearing about it. Did any of you know? Of course, we're talking about Jed McCaleb here. Yep, the guy who came up with the idea for XRP. He's one of the original creators of XRP and the XRP ledger, alongside David Schwartz and Arthur Brito. And now, let's dive into this headline because if we're talking about the man, we've got to talk about the man. The headline, Ripple co-founder McCaleb defends selling his XRP amid accusations of deliberately harming investors. More claims of deliberate harm, which for the record I don't agree with. But what's undeniable is that his net worth wouldn't be what it is today without XRP. He's a multi-billionaire after all. He's worth billions. Yes, billions. And it all ties back to his wild journey with XRP. Let me break it down. This guy had an insane amount of XRP, sold it all, and now he's using that fortune to fund freaking space stations. Yeah, you heard that right. Space stations. It's crazy how one guy's crypto story can turn into something this massive. What's even wilder, this whole saga is a key part of XRP's history. It's all connected, one unbelievable twist after another. Honestly, the journey of XRP from its early days to now feels like some made-up sci-fi tale, but it's 100% real. Before I go any further though, let me be super clear. I'm not a financial expert. None of this is financial advice. Do not make any buying or selling decisions based on what I say. I just love diving into crypto stories and sharing them on YouTube. It's just a fun hobby for me. Anyway, back to the story. Bloomberg's headline says it all. One man's crypto windfall is funding a $1 billion space station dream. That man, Jed McCaleb, the guy who turned his crypto fortune into something straight out of a sci-fi novel. Now he's ready to gamble a huge slice of his fortune in space. The billionaire behind the notorious Mt. Gox Bitcoin exchange and the cryptocurrency XRP is taking his ambitions to the stars, literally. As the sole financial backer of an audacious bid to build the world's first commercial space station, he's aiming to launch his startup, Vast Space LLC, into orbit. If it works, he could land a NASA contract next year worth billions to replace the aging International Space Station. And if it doesn't, Jed McCaleb is ready to burn $1 billion of his own money to make it happen. With billions under his control, managed partly through two charitable foundations holding $3.3 billion as of late 2023, all funded by his own contributions. He's betting big on humanity's cosmic future. It's crucial we take this leap to a world where countless people are living off Earth. McCaleb, 50, shares from Vast's Long Beach HQ. Few have the guts, the resources, or the patience to take a risk like this. As McCaleb puts it, a lot of billionaires just want to buy their yachts. I'm doing something different. It's bold, it's risky, but for McCaleb, it's the only way forward. He's like, I just don't find that very interesting. So instead, he's off building a space station. Honestly, I think that's pretty cool. I mean, sure, opinions are all over the place. Mixed, let's call it, especially within the XRP community when it comes to Jed McCaleb. But here's my take. I appreciate what he's done, no matter what others think. Look, he had business disagreements with Ripple's leadership. That's just a fact. But hey, everyone's entitled to their perspective, right? From everything I've seen, and I'm just an outsider here, there's no sign he was acting in bad faith. It's more like he had ideas or approaches that maybe weren't ideal for Ripple as a company. And you know what? That's okay. I'm just thankful he created all this in the first place. XRP has been absolutely life-changing for me. I don't know about you, but the amount I invested, it was no small sum, and now it's worth a fortune. The best part? I truly believe it's only going to go higher. Way, way, way higher. Let me put it this way. Personally, I'm genuinely appreciative of the situation here. Think what you want, but this whole idea of just dumping assets on the market, it's wild. Imagine for a second you're in his shoes. You truly believe Ripple as a company is taking the wrong path. So what's your move? Start your own company, one that operates differently. Makes sense, right? If you're convinced they're heading in the wrong direction, wouldn't it be logical to sever all ties, including the asset they're banking on as a bridge currency? Wouldn't you divest from something you no longer support or believe in? I can't blame the guy for that. And honestly, the way he sold his XRP, it didn't hurt the price at all. Not in any measurable way. Remember that headline? After 8 years dumping billions of XRP, Jed McCaleb's stack runs out in weeks. June 30th, 2022. I talked about this for months before it happened. People kept saying the price of XRP was low because of him, but let's be real, it wasn't true then, and it's not true now. Wow, what a bottom for XRP. That month marked a true low, down to just 28 cents. It was probably within days of this happening that people started pointing fingers everywhere. Ripple's selling? Blame them. Jed McCaleb's selling? Must be his fault. But honestly, that's nonsense. Let me break it down. Ripple's and Jed's XRP sales have always been contractually limited. They could only sell a specific amount based on global trading volume, meaning their sales were never significant enough to actually move the price. Jed, for instance, sold the max he was allowed consistently over years. And guess what? When he finally ran out of XRP, the price didn't magically shoot up. It stayed the same, just as I said it would. The same goes for Ripple. The entire argument that Ripple is suppressing XRP's price is ridiculous. Think about it. XRP hit its all-time high of $3.35 in late 2017 to early 2018 while Ripple was actively selling. If selling was the problem, how could that happen? It couldn't. The real issue has always been simple economics, supply and demand. For years, there wasn't enough demand to keep prices high. But times are changing. With crypto adoption growing, demand is increasing. So here we are years later in a very different market than before. Keep watching, because the story of XRP is far from over. So, get this, he sold it all and is now building a freaking space station. Yep, that's actually what he's doing with his XRP profits. Honestly, I think it's kind of awesome. Like, how many people can say their crypto gains are funding literal space exploration? Wild. Crypto Insight UK, a well-known XRP chart analyst, shared some thoughts on this. He posted a video of Jed McCaleb, yes, the Jed McCaleb, chatting with Bloomberg about his ambitious new venture. And trust me, this is next level stuff. Here's what Crypto Insight UK wrote. So, Jed McCaleb, he even tagged him, and Jed actually replied. Stay tuned for that. Founder of XLM and co-founder of the XRP ledger, is building a space station. Fair play. Leaves me with a lot to think about. He went on to wonder, XLM's logo looks like a black hole, space-themed design. Will it be involved, or is space just Jed's passion project? Either way, it's impressive. Billionaires taking big swings like this? That's what life's all about. At some point, shouldn't it all be about the greater good, not just lining pockets? Maybe that's just me. But here's the thing, I can't fully get behind XLM, and here's why. How is it that Ripple has been slammed by the SEC, yet Jed McCaleb managed to offload an absolutely staggering amount of XRP? Billions. Literally billions, without so much as a blip on the SEC's radar. Was someone whispering in the right ears over there? Feels a bit fishy, doesn't it? Here's the partial answer I've pieced together. Jed left Ripple back in 2013, or maybe it was early 2014. A quick Google can confirm. It was way back in the early days. Most of the transactions the SEC flagged as problematic happened long after his departure, so he seemingly skated past the drama. But still, the guy sold an F-ton of XRP over the years. It's a weird little wrinkle in the story, isn't it? Sure, the SEC could have gone that route, but let's be real. Jed McCaleb had been out of the picture for so long that dragging him in probably didn't seem worth their time. Besides, the SEC's decision to target Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson was already a massive overreach. I mean, suing them without even filing fraud charges? That's unheard of. There's absolutely no precedent for executives being sued in non-fraud cases, ever. Countless attorneys have pointed this out. These lawsuits are usually reserved for fraud cases, not whatever this was. It felt less like justice, and more like a strategic flex. A bullying tactic straight out of the SEC's playbook. So why didn't they go after McCaleb? From their perspective, it must not have been worth the effort. If they thought it would help their case, you better believe they would have done it. But clearly, they didn't. Just my 2 cents, of course. So Crypto Insight UK keeps the conversation going. He points out something interesting. Jed McCaleb, who owned the early crypto exchange Mt. Gox before selling it, saw it get hacked not long after he stepped away. Coincidence? Maybe once, but twice. Well, that's for you to decide. Personally, I don't buy into any major conspiracy theories here. It just doesn't add up for me. When it comes to Mt. Gox, it was under new leadership after McCaleb left. Maybe the new team got a bit careless. Blaming Jed McCaleb for the hack feels like a stretch. I'm pretty confident in that stance, but hey, just my 2 cents. A member of the XRP community, Jim, recently responded to Crypto Insight UK, accusing them of deliberately trying to harm Ripple investors just because they didn't like how some discussions or votes played out. Disagreeing with a team's decisions is one thing, but actively working to damage the community? That's a whole different story, and not the kind of behavior that instills trust. Now, let's be real here. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. Sure, have at it. But these kinds of arguments, they just don't sit right with me. They feel empty, like they're missing the bigger picture. Jim wasn't out to harm XRP holders. He simply stopped believing in the project. He lost faith. As soon as Ripple started steering in a direction he disagreed with, he checked out. Maybe he was wrong about Ripple's approach. I think he was. But from his perspective, the company had completely derailed. So what's he supposed to do with his XRP holdings? Keep them even if he doesn't believe in the project? If he thought Ripple was heading off the rails, why would he want his future tied to that? It's a messy situation, no doubt about it. I can't really blame him for wanting out. If that's what he truly believed, how could it be wrong? It's not about screwing over XRP holders. I don't think he has any ill intentions toward regular folks like you and me. Speaking of which, I do hold some XLM, been holding since 2017. Not a lot though. Honestly, a big reason for that is how XRP and XLM tend to move in sync. Like, why double down when I'm already making that bet with XRP? Just seemed redundant. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Now about this whole claim that he deliberately tried to harm investors. Jed McCaleb wasn't having any of it. Surprisingly, he clapped back, saying, "That's not true. I told the Ripple community I was leaving and no longer believed in the project before I sold my XRP. The goal was simple. Let people front run me. The alternative? Selling without transparency. Would that have been better? Plus, we gave XRP holders the chance to swap into Stellar, hoping they wouldn't lose anything at all. Honestly, that seems pretty fair to me. I don't think Jed McCaleb is some villain here. His approach to things, while different, wasn't necessarily wrong. Sure, I've said before that his methods seemed less effective compared to Ripple's strategy of positioning XRP as a bridge currency. From what I've observed, as an outsider, Ripple's approach feels stronger. But hey, that's just business. It doesn't even matter in the larger picture. And now, because Jed helped create XRP and sold a chunk of it, we're apparently getting a space station? Let's be real. Can we just name it the XRP space station? That'd be epic. It's not happening because of XLM, let's not kid ourselves. Seriously, imagine it. XRP space station, fully branded. It fits perfectly with all the classic crypto memes. Wind Moon, Wind Lambo, and now, Wind Orbit? Who's on board? It absolutely cracks me up that this guy is literally trying to build a space station. Like, you can't make this stuff up. I was completely floored when I found out. So here's the thing. I had no clue. Turns out he launched this company back in 2021. How did I miss that? Maybe some of you already knew about it and I'm just late to the party, but wow. This is wild. Not only is it real, but it's actually making progress. Let's see if he pulls it off. Honestly, I hope he does. It's such a cool idea, and I'd hate to see this bold vision, and the XRP profits funding it, fall short. As more updates roll in, I'll keep you posted because this story is just so much fun to follow. I mean, think about it. The International Space Station is set to be decommissioned by 2030. That leaves a massive gap in space activities. If this company ends up being the only serious player in the game, they could land a massive NASA contract. That's the bet they're making, but if they don't, well, no space station, no party. It's all fascinating to watch. Either they succeed, or there's just not going to be this kind of activity happening in space anymore after the ISS retires. What a wild ride this could be. Oh, and just a reminder, I'm not a financial advisor. Don't make any buy or sell decisions based on my ramblings, alright? That would definitely be a terrible idea.